And welcome to the fourth and long-winded podcast emergency Super League episode. Today we're going to talk about the big news in international sports, the announcements and news related to the Super League in European soccer. Now I know what you're thinking. That isn't college football, but we're going to talk about some of the parallels that go between our favorite sport and its European step cousin. Dan, I know that you're a big soccer fan, so I know you've got some pretty big opinions on this. So I'm going to let you maybe give us some background.
All right. Yeah. So basically 12 teams total, 12 clubs from Europe, 6 from England, 3 from Italy, and 3 from Spain have decided to start their own league because they're not getting enough money that they want. It's just greed. That's basically what it is. So the parallel directly is in the college football, we have conferences sort of similar to how each country has their own league. So the Big 12, big schools, Oklahoma, Texas. Premier League, the big teams are the 6 that are planning on leaving. The Big 6 as they're known. You have Tottenham, you have Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, I'm forgetting Liverpool, and I'm forgetting one more, Chelsea. So those are the equivalent of Texas and Oklahoma to the Big 12.
And those are teams that, like, even me, who is at the most barely a fan of soccer, has heard of. So, and I think like the parallels go to like if you're not a fan of college football, you've heard of Texas, you've heard of Oklahoma.
Well, it's even deeper than that. So when it comes to the revenue, like Texas and Oklahoma make money for Texas Tech and West Virginia and like these lower tier in their conference. It's the same thing in these European soccer leagues, where the Manchester Uniteds and the Liverpools make money and they use revenue sharing to distribute it. And it's kind of entirely down the entire football pyramid as it's known, or soccer pyramid. I'm not talking about college football. I should probably, since we're talking about this and we're American, I should probably deviate or at least make it.
I appreciate that for us simpletons.
Anyways.
I guess maybe give just like a real quick kind of your opinion, and I'll give my opinion on the actual soccer announcement and the news, and then maybe we can dive a little bit deeper into talking about the parallels that we see, because I see a lot of parallels, and I kind of want to maybe throw some scenarios out there to talk about, and we can go from there.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So go ahead.
All right. So I kind of just lost my train of thought. I forgot. We'll do a cut here. I forgot what you just asked.
That's okay. So how about I say my thoughts first?
All right.
Like, from my very limited knowledge of soccer, I follow a couple people on Twitter that are, weirdly enough, college football analysts and also big soccer fans. And they pretty much no one seems happy about this from what I am seeing.
Yeah.
It seems like even fans of these super teams, I mean, I guess some are probably like, yeah, this sounds great. But also it seems like many of the fans of these super teams or super league teams seem upset. I think I saw that it was Liverpool fans put a big black banner outside of the stadium, basically declaring the death of the team.
Yeah.
I found that kind of interesting. And so like I'm kind of curious as if like this blowback, all of this negative attention is going to prevent these teams from doing that, because I kind of don't think that's going to happen.
See, that's the thing. So I don't agree with this as well. Sorry, I completely forgot what the question was, but that's what my answer is.
That's what I want you to give me your opinion.
Yeah. I was thinking about something else and went off, but I don't agree with this. I know most of America, like I was listening to the Pardon My Take podcast today, and they're kind of like in on this because it's a very American idea. If you think about it, they're trying to do what all the major sports leagues here have already done, where it's a closed business. There's only 30. You're guaranteed your spot. You're guaranteed your spot or your share of the revenue, your fair share. And currently, like in college football, you're not guaranteed as per se, but especially in European football, you're not guaranteed anything.
Yeah,
you can be relegated and like be down 2 divisions within 3 years, and then there's a significant drop off in money when that happens. Yeah. These bigger teams that are planning on leaving aren't really in danger of that. Some of them aren't performing as well as maybe their name and their money suggests.
So they're basically those teams are basically Texas.
Yes. This is the Texas, this is the Oklahoma, this is the Alabama. This is literally every team that you think would form a super league in college football.
Yeah.
Where it would probably be like Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma, USC, like the big name programs. That's the equivalent of what these teams are over there. They have so much money, so much power, so much fandom, so many fans behind them. But
I mean, what would you think? So I don't want to spend too much time getting into like the details of this. So maybe this will be like the last question before we kind of move into the next point of the conversation. But what do you think? Because I'm barely getting into soccer, and one thing that kind of bothers me about American soccer and the American what was the American Soccer League? Fucking
MLS.
MLS, yeah. The thing that bothers me about the MLS is because it's an American league, so it's a closed league, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've been promoting teams into it, but like you can't really get relegated out of it.
It's not even like the same promotion. It was just like FC Cincinnati was a USL team, and then they were given a MLS. They were given a franchise. Like it's just like expansion in any other profession.
And so I guess what I saw someone make a point that one of the great things about European soccer is it was distinctly un-American. It was not like American sport leagues.
Yep.
And now it is becoming Americanized.
Yep.
And I guess that speaks a lot. I mean, that speaks to like the influence of America on the world.
Well, there's some American owners involved in this now that also own professional franchises.
LeBron James own part of one of these teams?
He technically owns a small portion of Liverpool.
LeBron formed a super team in Miami, and now he's forming the Super League.
Oh my God, Cody! So many people have made that joke. It's not even funny.
I know. I got it from Twitter.
Yeah. So I know Liverpool's owner, like we said, is John Henry. He owns the Red Sox. He owns Roush Fenway, or a NASCAR team. He owns a bunch of different stuff.
This guy likes sports.
Yes, but he has that American mindset of why do I have to worry about giving money to these teams that are 3 divisions below us? No, that's my money. Take it. This is how much money I should be making. And it's him. It's the Glazers own Manchester United. They're American. Arsenal, Stan Kroenke, the owner of the Rams and the Nuggets and the Avalanche. He owns Arsenal now. Another American with American mindsets. So I know a lot of the reaction from Europeans is like, oh, those damn Americans coming in and ruin this for us. But this has kind of been an idea circulating among these bigger teams and for like 20 years.
Right.
So it's not, I mean, the Americans probably, now they give them a majority because now they own 3 more teams, 3 or 4 actually. And they're definitely for it. I mean, Americans are greedy. That's what we are. If we're known for anything, we're good at greed. But I don't know. Like, so Real Madrid's owner is Florentino Perez. He's going to be president of this whole thing.
Right.
So they've been wanting to do this for a while. It looks like it might actually finally be happening, and then I'm afraid it's going to ruin soccer.
I'm concerned about that as well. And I think that unfortunately, and this is where I see so many parallels, I think this is where college football is going. I really see college football moving in the direction to where the Power 5 leagues split off from the NCAA. We hear talk about that all the time, and kind of the parallels to how we've kind of had these ideas and these thoughts for a while. And to me, it seems almost as if They're like on a very similar trajectory. Just maybe college football is a little behind the European soccer. And I think that even the Power Five, as we know it, is not going to look the same. So like,
I'd be surprised if it was all the Power Five. I feel like it would be more. It's more likely that a select group of, I don't know, 10 to 20. You can have 10 to 20 teams from those big five or Power Five conferences splitting off and just starting their own league.
Right. And I think
maybe becoming like an actual minor league, NFL minor league.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it essentially would be an NFL minor league. And so I think that there would be some good to that, and I think there would be some bad to that. My kind of solution, my thought process for that was like a relegation system. I think it would make college football more interesting. Maybe North Dakota State can't stay as dominant as they have been, which they lost this past weekend.
Still in the playoffs.
I know, but they lost.
Still in the playoffs.
And so maybe North Dakota State can't stay so dominant in the FCS, and they have to move up to the FBS level and compete against people there. And I don't know, like, I know that would take a lot more, but a lot more like actual thought process than our college football administrators and people actually have.
We'll see. And there's so much more money that they would be losing.
Yeah, I mean, it would never actually work, but I'm just thinking of things that make the system more interesting. I really think that the problem essentially in college football lies not with these big schools, because these big schools are doing what it takes to promote their brand, promote their school, and I think that's important. And I would do the same thing if I were them. I think it falls on the NCAA and the NCAA commissioner. And I think the NCAA has been giving up way too much power to these conferences, especially in football, in relation to football. NCAA retains the power for basketball, and that's their big moneymaker. It makes them billions of dollars a year. But the NCAA, we saw it this past year with how spotty the different rules were with college football, and like Big Ten not starting until I don't even know when October, and the SEC starting in August, and how everything went. Like, someone from the NCAA needed to just sit back and say, "Hey, these are the rules for everyone. Follow them." You know,
but that's just like an institutional problem, like with
it's an
the whole
institutional
system.
problem, but it creates the bigger problem, like not having that leadership, that institutional organization, and the leadership at the institutional level is going to create these fractions, these other, the have-nots and the haves. And
it would actually be a lot easier for these big schools to break away and start a new league, because they don't have a FIFA or a UEFA governing board that directs everything involved with the sport, that can put sanctions. Like, FIFA's out here saying, like, if this happens, the players won't be able to be playing in the World Cup. Like, I don't know, like, there's gonna be a lot of lawyers before anything is actually decided, because like it's a question if they can legally even do that, like, say, because it's not the players' fault that they're leaving. So like,
I mean,
I don't know.
Some technicalities, I don't know European law, but I also imagine that could be like antitrust, but also they could be similar to like the US, where these leagues have like exceptions for antitrust rules, because the NFL can literally choose to kill any other organization if they don't want it to exist legally. And
but the point was that the college football, building off what you were saying, they don't have that leadership.
Exactly. That's kind of where I'm coming from. And if you don't have that institutional control over everyone, you need to do something to make people happy, make the bigger teams happy.
It's all about making the bigger teams happy.
Exactly.
Those are your money makers.
Exactly. And I don't know. I think about the idea of like Ohio State, Michigan, maybe Penn State leaving the Big Ten. Maybe Penn State. But Ohio State and Michigan.
Arsenal can get in. All these teams can.
Say what?
Only soccer fans will know that. I said, if Arsenal can get into this Super League, Arsenal's really fucking bad at the moment. So just the fact that they're in this Super League is just hilarious in itself.
I love the name of the Super League. Like, that's fucking fantastic marketing. Like, whoever came up with that is awesome.
They thought really hard about that one, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
That was sarcasm.
I'm not being sarcastic. Like, because they could have fumbled it and called it like the European Superior League or, something like that. Like, they could have fumbled that. It's a solid name. Despite people making fun of it, it's a solid name to me. So, like, I'm thinking of a Super League for college football. Who would you put in there?
How many teams? Let's set a team. Do we want 15? I guess we probably need an even number.
I'm going to say an even number.
Our biggest conference now is 14. So you just want to set it at 14?
Let's do 16.
16? Okay. Yeah, then you just have a 16-team playoff every year.
Yeah.
Okay. Obvious ones. Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Texas, Oklahoma, USC. Trying to think. Probably am missing so many obvious ones. Clemson right now? Yeah, Clemson. Florida State.
Yep.
Miami.
Yep.
I'm just thinking like big programs.
So here, let me type this out as you're saying it. Like, so I would say I'm going in the Big Ten. I'm going to take 2 from the Big Ten.
Purdue's got to be in there.
Girl. I'm taking Ohio State and Michigan. And then from the SEC, I'm definitely taking Alabama. And I think in its current rate,
Florida.
Yeah, Florida. So that's 4. I'm taking the two teams right now from each, and then we'll go from there. Well, I mean, I guess that's going to give us 20 teams, but
I don't think we're taking.
Give us 10 teams. It'll give us 10 teams from the Power 5. I think then you have to do from the ACC. It has to be Clemson. It has to be Florida State.
We're only doing 2. Sorry.
That would be my choice. Then from the Big 12 would be Oklahoma and Texas. And then from the Pac-12, I guess, like
USC and Oregon.
I would not include Oregon.
Oregon's the most recognizable program right now in the Pac-12.
Right now, but maybe. It would be between Oregon and UCLA for me.
No. UCLA, get the fuck out of here.
All right. Well, you lose the Rose Bowl if you do that, which I think they'll want that. But and then so that puts us at 10. We definitely will need to have LSU in there because they're dirty anyways, and they do everything they can to win. I say, you probably need to include Texas A&M. So 14.
I don't want to, but I get it.
Yeah, I don't want to, but I feel like you need to.
I feel like they don't deserve to be in that.
But like I'm putting them there. I would put Penn State. They've got, the size of the stadium alone and the money.
We're going to run out of teams here because I still need to have Miami in there.
All right, Miami can go. All right, so we got 2 more. Notre Dame, now you got 1. Who else? You got who can you choose?
Georgia. There's so many SEC teams alone.
Well, we can't be having like an all SEC Super League here.
You can have 5 teams from it.
All right, fine. Georgia. Who else would you want to put in there?
SEC. Okay, I'm just going to go conference by conference and list off who I think deserves, and whatever number it is at the end, that's what it is. SEC, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, LSU. I think that's good.
Okay.
ACC, Clemson, Miami, Florida State.
Okay.
Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan.
Okay.
I'm tempted to put Wisconsin, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Texas, Oklahoma, Big 12.
Puts us at 11.
And then, okay, so I'll put Wisconsin in 2, and then Oregon, USC, and there's my 14.
We're doing 6.
I guess I forgot. Okay, you know what? Penn State can get in there, and I'll
Thank
put.
You.
What else? Okay, whatever.
All right, so I don't know. I just thought this was kind of something that we could have an interesting conversation about. I didn't want to take too much time, but I thought this would be interesting. If y'all have any comments or ideas on who you would put in your college football Super League, drop them in the comments section. Give us a follow. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree.